Blackbird Night School. Lesson 3. How Jesus uses the body and the world to motivate learning. This lesson comes through Ken Wapnick, who made it plain that Jesus does not use the body or the world to make life more comfortable. He uses them to wake the mind that still believes it lives inside them. Ken said the dream of bodies is only a shadow of the dream of guilt in the mind. That guilt is the real problem. The world is just its echo. Jesus, like any good teacher, has to motivate his students. Ken explained that no one learns when they still think the classroom is a playground. So Jesus lets the playground lose its charm. He shows us the bruises we keep pretending are blessings. Think of when something you loved fell apart. A relationship, a job, a plan that was supposed to work. That's the body and the world doing what Jesus allows them to do, show the emptiness that was always underneath. It is not cruelty, it is motivation. Ken said this descent into the world is the inevitable course once guilt is believed to be real. We think we left heaven, feel guilty, expect punishment, and then run. That running is what the world is. Every time we feel punished by life, we're reenacting the same old scene, telling the Holy Spirit to be quiet while we listen to the ego again. That's why the Course says the problem is outside of time, and so the healing must be too. That's what Ken called the holy instant, the timeless choice to stop repeating the mistake. Jesus paints the world honestly. Ken reminded us he calls it a desert, where starved and thirsty creatures come to die. He is not attacking us. He is exposing the lie that there's life where there isn't. We look around and say, but there's beauty here. Yes, but beauty borrowed from the mind, reflected through decay, can't last. Jesus wants us to stop pretending sand is water. We hesitate because we're afraid to look at what we made. Ken said that before you can look at love, you must look at hate, not because hate is real, but because you made it real. We're scared that looking will destroy us, when actually it releases us. That's why we avoid stillness. Stillness shows the patterns we still want. We know what we're doing but don't yet want to stop. We enjoy the little rush of being right, the identity of being wronged. Ken called that the hidden payoff of pain. Comfort becomes its own addiction. We keep the same arguments because they feel familiar. We say, I just want peace, but we want our story too. Jesus lets both desires clash until one finally feels impossible to keep. When the mind is ready, even small moments become lessons. A traffic jam turns into a mirror. The body's tightness becomes a message instead of an enemy. Ken said the body is nothing, but it reports the mind's decision. When it aches, it's saying, you chose fear again. Jesus does not decorate the prison. He shows there's no prison at all. The ego says, let's fix the world. Jesus says, let's leave it. Not by dying, but by seeing it differently. Ken warned that if we think the Course is about improving the world, our learning stays limited. That's why he called it a curriculum for leaving the world voluntarily. Not escaping through death, but awakening through understanding. So the world and the body become blackboards. Every pain, every delay, every disappointment becomes chalk lines, spelling out, look here. When the lesson is learned, the blackboard fades. Progress is not measured in miracles of form, but in speed of peace. The same insult that once ruined a day now dissolves in seconds. The mind starts to trust the teacher instead of the storyteller. And that's how Jesus uses the body and the world, not as goals, but as gentle alarms. They remind us we're dreaming. They guide us back to the mind where choice lives. Ken said the Course takes the gloves off because we keep pretending the ego is innocent. But once we see the ego's game clearly, we can choose against it. So don't polish the chains. Open your hands. Let them drop. The door was never locked. And as Ken would smile and say, "You only dreamed it was,"